So who expected this? Arsenal are signing Martin Zubimendi. Apparently, it comes from a pretty good source. Got it here, the Mail. Sammy Monkbell with an exclusive. Saying that Arsenal set to sign £51 million Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad, with deal virtually completed to beat Liverpool and Man City for summer transfer. And Mikel Arteta wants a forward next. It is a summer transfer, people. This is not one for January. You won't see Zubimendi getting ready for football this week for Arsenal or holding the shirt anytime soon. But apparently the £51 million signing has all but been done, agreed, signed, sealed for this summer. Let's go into it because I don't want to misquote anything. This is exactly what was said in the report. Arsenal will land long-term target Zubimendi at the end of the season, Mail Sport can reveal. Now, before I go on to this, I just want to say this doesn't sound like the Declan Rice stuff. Remember Declan Rice, two years ago, we were hearing this is a player we really wanted, that we put a lot of work in, and that it was one we were going to get done in the summer. This is different. This is more suggesting that the work's been done and that he will be joining us. The Real Sociedad star has been called by Mikel Arteta for over 12 months, and talks over a summer move are now at an advanced stage, with sources indicating the deal is virtually completed. Despite Arsenal's current need for forward incomings, okay, we'll talk about the forward stuff in a sec. The Emirates Club have focused their attention on getting a deal in place with Zubimendi. Cool. I won't read the full thing because, obviously you can go find the link and read in more detail. But I'm just sort of giving you some of the early kind of lines in there. Arsenal would like him. That I would like him to join immediately, but Sociedad have insisted that he stays till the end of the season. That's interesting. Arsenal did try and do this deal for January, but it's going to have to be a summer one. It's now understood that the Gunners didn't make a formal offer for the player during the previous winter. Cool. City were apparently looking at him after Rodri. Mentions that Jorginho and Partey are obviously on their way. But somewhere there's a line about a forward. Let me just see if I can find it. There is a line. Be patient with me. Yeah, the club will now focus on strengthening their forward options this month as they look to cope with a worrying injury list. Arteta said, we're actively looking in the market to improve the squad. That's been like that since day one. It would have been naive not to do that. It's an opportunity to improve the squad. We are trying. Let's see what we can do. Okay, look, this is for sure more positive than anything we've had recently in terms of transfer news. Interesting that Arsenal did try to do it this month, but I wonder why. I wonder why they wanted to bring that forward, unless they just weren't happy with Mourinho's performances or didn't feel they could rely or Jorginho and Partey. So that's an interesting one. But it's signed and sealed for the summer. Listen, I'm not going to complain about this. Far from it. Arsenal should be simultaneously doing two things, looking to strengthen the forward line in the summer. But if you're telling me that we've got a midfielder of Zubimendi's quality coming in the summer, ready to go, that's brilliant. Forward for now, focus on that. But a midfielder of Zubimendi's quality. And I think to really discuss that, that this is a good thing and actually really analyze this fairly, react to this fairly, we have to park our need for a forward this January to the side, because both can exist, people. I don't think signing Zubimendi for 51 million in the summer should have any impact on us wanting to spend 70 million on a forward this January. I don't think it should. So I can look at both and go, great. Like with the Calafiori signing in the summer, I was happy because I think he's a very good young player we brought in, but it didn't change that the priority and the need was for the forward line. Now, a 6 coming in, 6/8, I think he'll be a 6 for us, coming in the summer of his quality is brilliant. I think Rodri came off for Spain, didn't he, in the Euros final at half-time against England. And Spain didn't skip a beat. If anything, they were better in that second half. No City fans, I'm not saying Zubimendi's better than Rodri, obviously. But the point is, I think we were really taken aback by how good he looked in that final, coming off the bench and keeping things moving for Spain. We know that he's been very good at Sociedad. We clearly really like working with Sociedad, don't we? I guess we're recreating a Zubimendi, Ødegaard, Mourinho midfield. People can have their thoughts on that. But listen, Zubimendi's a very good player. He is a player that gets on the ball, controls the tempo of the game. I think he's a slightly more tenacious Jorginho. I also don't know, when I looked more recently, like last summer, I also don't know if his passing numbers are Jorginho level passing numbers. But we'll have our time to do our breakdowns and research and all that, and we absolutely will. The point is Arsenal have got a pretty big deal done early, and this feels proactive from Arsenal because we know that Man City were looking potentially for this window. We know that Liverpool, were real admirers of Zubimendi back last summer. So Arsenal, to be fair to them, there's a lot of things you can criticise Arsenal for, and many ways in which we haven't acted like a big club. But on this one, trying to get ahead of your competition and securing a player of Zubimendi's quality ahead of City and Liverpool, who were reportedly in for him. I don't know if they absolutely were. We know Liverpool were, but City reportedly were, or were at least looking at him. For Arsenal to do this and get it done for the summer ahead of the others, I like that. That's good business. That's moving well in the market. Well done to the club. That genuinely, can't fault that. And I'm excited about the player coming in. The problem is there is still an undertone of, great, but we really need a forward. I dare say, no, let me not say that. I was going to say maybe some fans would even rather we didn't sign Zubimendi 50 million, had an extra 50 million to go on the forward line. But let's see, the point is the money's there, right? So when we talk about bringing signings forward, that's 50 million pounds that was spent. So clearly there's no PSR concerns. We could pretty much put that to bed. Listen, I'm no football financial expert. Maybe that's an unfair statement from me, but it just feels like, look, we've been able to just go secure that one for 50 million for the summer. So there's got to be money available. Also, maybe showing their hand a little bit in that sense. But I think Arsenal fans will really enjoy this deal and be really excited about it for next summer. If, and I know everyone will do Netflix FC, but still, this is good squad planning. I've got no problem with this. But I think Arsenal fans can really enjoy this if we do what we need to do in this window, which is get in a Vlahovic or a striker or a top forward or spend 60 million pounds on the right forward. I think if Arsenal do that business and strengthen the forward line the way they need to, and that on deadline day, we see that player coming in. No, not on deadline, before, but come deadline day, we've seen that player's come in. Then I think we'll all stop and reflect on the Zubimendi. Want to go, fair. Rice, Zubimendi, probably a sixes next season. I mean, that's a pretty impressive set of defense midfield options. And then you wonder whether Partey or Jorginho stay another year or whatever. So, yeah, look, I'm very happy about this deal. £51 million. He arrives in the summer. Arsenal, having got this done, I mean, the way Sammy Mokbel's explaining it sounds like this is done. This is fully ready to go for the summer. And now the attention's turned towards the forward line. It should have been before I'll be honest, that's probably the one thing. It's like, we probably should have been worried about the forward now and then using February, March to get Zubimendi done. But like the article said, we were trying to get him for January. So again, I don't really get the logic behind that. So I'm not saying everything about this deal is like thumbs up. I'm not saying everything sounds perfect. But largely, of course, I'm excited that we're getting Zubimendi in the summer. But what this can't do is paper over cracks. And what this can't do is put a smile on our faces because transfers, yay. If we're not doing what we have to do this January, like I said, we can enjoy this more if we do what we do in January. Otherwise, we'll be sitting there going, so £50 million has just been committed to a player that we already have three players in his position. And we know that the midfield situation gets complicated in the summer, but like I said, two things can exist. You kind of have to separate the forward chat from the Zubimendi chat to a degree to actually analyse how Arsenal have done some good stuff with this deal and beat the competition and got ahead. But I think at the same time, I'm really processing this all as I'm recording, people, apologies. But at the same time, you do also need to go, okay, but if we don't get a forward because 50 million was committed there and time and attention was committed there when that wasn't a dire need for this team, okay, then questions will rightly be asked. And actually, I think you could find Arsenal fans actually being more annoyed about this than they are actually happy about it. So look, some mixed emotions there, but ultimately, of course, I'm happy that a player of his quality is joining us this summer. But don't let that stop what we need to do this January, I think is the overriding message from Arsenal fans. But I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please let us know what you make of Zubimendi, where he'll play for us. And I'm waiting for kind of more reports. Like I'm waiting for like David Ornstein to tell us it's done. Do you know what I mean? Or someone else. Because at the moment, all I can really see is, okay, so Romano, a minute ago, Arsenal advanced talks to sign Zubimendi for summer 2025. Negotiations underway with player side as positive Talks took place behind the scenes. Final key steps still needed. Arsenal plan to trigger. Right, so it's a release clause. There we go. So Romano's coming in and said it's a release clause that's being triggered. But he says it's not quite set, signed, sealed, delivered, all that. There's still some final steps. So, okay. If there's a release clause, if it is, and it's active now, which I don't know if it's active now, why couldn't we just take him now? Don't know. Maybe we'll get more of this, and Robbie will undoubtedly cover this on Transfer Daily. Everyone, that's it. Zubimendi is, according to some, coming into the club, and according to others, on the brink of coming into the club. But it will be in the summer. But the forwards remain the priority. Digest that one, Arsenal fans. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all very soon.